Okay, I've said in a video that I said I'm red pillish. Now I never really consider myself fully red pill. I've always said I just take some of the good things, just like everything. And I've always said this about everything because sometimes people can be right, but when you really get into deep of who they are, sometimes you just there's things about them that turn you off, and it's just like I don't know if I should be following this cat. And I've always said that about a lot of people in the red pill community, and or it's just various people. It's just like some of them, yeah, they say some good shit, they say some smart shit, and then when you really get to know their character, it's just like I don't, I don't know if I should really be listening to you. It's just like I can't fuck with you. And now I knew who Rollo Tomasi is, but I never really like listened to Rollo Tomasi, and he is someone that is considered the godfather of the red pill community. So I fucking oh wait, I know people like abide by his names. I seen him on Fresh and Fit a lot. Probably heard him talk about a couple times. I know he talked about Pearl and he called her an idiot and some shit like that. And there are things where like I said, there are things that he said that I was like, okay, those that's actually not bad. And then there are also things where I was just like, nah, I'm not banging with that. Now with this one is the quickest path to becoming a high value man. And he wrote this on Twitter, which is something you should have never fucking did unless you was going to have some context about this later. And like the and I will explain why later. But let's get to what he was saying. The quickest path to becoming a high value man. Do not get married. Avoid family creation. Vasectomy in your 20s. Keep that one in mind. Live consistently. Eliminate all sedations. Learn game and networking. Play to your strength. Build wealth. Resist easing up on your focus. Now, tell you the truth, these are all like really general shit that everybody says, except for number three. But look, like four down, I've heard people say this all the fucking time. It's just like, so you're not telling me anything new. But the first three, I would say this personally. The first three, do not get married. And I've always said this: if there's someone that you feel like that you cannot live without, and this person makes you a better person, you might as well just like cook that up because we all as human beings we all need each other, and sometimes you need that person. It's just like it's going to keep you with sometimes a woman, and I tell sometimes a woman is one of the reasons why a lot of people do better. Because one thing about men is just like I don't want to use the word complacent, but we like we're simple. So the simplest things we'll be satisfied with. A TV light in bed is just like that's all we need. We don't need much. That's why when you look at a man's bachelor pad apartment, there's not that much stuff in there. Now later they probably put stuff in there, but most of the time it's just like you ever look at a man's house and it's bare bones. It's just like not a lot of stuff in there. But if you go to a woman's house, they always have shit in there because they want their place to. Because woman makes a house a home per se. The man's out there working. Nigga work too. My brother um had a place and it was barely in there because he was working a lot. So it's just you know I think that's just how man. Hell, even when I had my own PPV, now it was already kind of like had stuff in there, but I didn't put nothing extra in there. But my ex, she like took me shopping and she like bought all this stuff to make it a little bit more personal. And I let her do it. I was like, yeah, yeah, you could. And I was like, you could decorate however you wanted to. And she like had fun. It was just like everything in there. It was just like she bought to make that stuff look a little bit more personal. And it was cool. It looked nice. I'm not even going for it. Did look nice. So with that being said, um, avoid family creations. I've seen it, like I said, also I've seen it in jobs, especially like if you're like going into politics or some shit like that. Having a family is actually like helpful and beneficial to your cause because a lot of people like family man. If you are a family man, like you like look after your kids and your kids are in order. It looks good on pictures. That's why, like, with the dog and all that stuff, it's like traditionally, even though yes, more and more likely. How can I say this? You know, even in the likely a rampant of single mothers, you don't see many politicians, single politicians. And the one guy you saw, it he's either gay or he was trying to date Rosario Dawson, but no one believed him. Um, and you see how that turned out. You always need a family. It's like a family usually helps your causes out. So avoid family. Now, I will say this: if you ain't got no money, you shouldn't be having kids. But I've heard one people say getting married and having kids is for the poor people, and like being and like or me you being rich is for getting married is for the rich. So that's why I'm saying like take what you can from everybody and just leave because everybody got different opinions and shit. But if you find something that you can stick to and agree on, just stick to that. Three, getting a vasectomy in your 20s. First of all, and this is the one, not just me, but a lot of other people that claim themselves red pill or claim themselves between me in the manosphere, and even Sneeko, which we are also talking about. Getting a vasectomy in your 20s is dumb. And I remember him saying this before. Is like getting a vasectomy in your 20s is dumb. Like, why would you do that? Why, because there are also better ways to like not. Cause I understand, see, we're going to fuck, yes, but you could also go monk style. And mediocre tutorials review said this, and I've said this. Also, I've done this before. Like, just be celibate. Just be celibate. Just don't fuck. Or if you're going to have sex, use a condom. Like it was like, and me, I went cold turkey. That shit fucking sucked. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's like when I went to school. When I went to school, I tried to like focus on school and all that other stuff. I didn't want to fuck up my chances by like, fucking different bitches getting pregnant. I didn't want to do that, so I just went cold turkey. Now I'm going to tell you, as someone that like, and I did this for like a good 7 years. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was just like I didn't have like when I finally had sex. The girl was like, "When was the last time you had sex?" I was like, 7 years. And she looked at me crazy. I was like, yeah, I shut it down. Like, to me, I fucking shut it down. And I'm gonna tell you this, it fucking sucked. It fucking sucked. The last time it was just like, um, but I shut it down just because I wanted to focus more. I didn't want nothing distracting. I didn't want nothing to like jump in the way of fucking up. It's just that I wanted to like get through colleges without no problems and shit. So I was like, I go full turkey. And I tell everybody, it was like, when they ask me what was it like, and I tell them all, it fucking sucked. It fucking sucked. It shows you discipline though. You got great discipline, but it sucks because like I'm very friendly. I'm very like I'm also a flirt and I'm also very friendly. And there was people that enjoyed my. I like making people comfortable, especially women. I like making women comfortable. So there were times when women just like hug me, and I'm like, whew, sometimes it's just like you have to resist that urge to like not do nothing stupid. And it was like this one girl, she hugged me. I picked her up and she wrapped her legs around me, and I had to put her down because I was going to dry hump her on that damn table. I was like, ooh. There was another time when girl something she said something. It was weird. She just started meowing in my ear. It was just like just randomly. It wasn't even trying to be sexual. It was just random. And like I had since me not having any, and I'm really exposing myself here. That shit just turned me the fuck on. Where I was just like, I had to go take a walk. It's like her intention, and I'm like, she was just being goofy, and it was just like her intention wasn't even to turn me on, but it was just like it turned me on so much that I was like, yeah, I got to take a walk. I'm exposing myself, but yeah, but I've said that you don't really have to get a vasectomy. The point is, you don't really have to get a vasectomy. Just, just go monk mode or something like. It sucks, but if you can't go full monk mode, use protection, use a condom. Make sure you're having sex safely around here. But practicing celibacy, I'm not gonna. Yeah, you got to be very, very disciplined to be practicing celibacy. Now, with that being, like I said, the other ones I didn't. So Sneeko had a problem with that because he's just like, so is red. So he asked this question. So is red pill all about banging a bunch of chicks? And I feel like, and I've said this many a times, Fresh and Fit are the worst to go at because I feel like their whole thing is not to. And I know that their thing is to help men, but at the same time, when it comes to like women is about picking up women and banging them. They're not looking for marriage. So why would you go to Fresh and Fit and for something for like marriage when none of them wants to go for marriage? So I don't think the red pill is getting exposed, but it's just like Sneeko is correct in one thing. It's just yes, the one VPN that I'm using. Sorry. Sneeko is correct too, where he's like too challenging. I don't have a problem with challenging because you should challenge that. Now, this is where I feel like this is going to be the fault of the red pill community, not because Andrew Tate doesn't claim red pill, but it shouldn't be a movement. It should be a social club. People where I think people fucked up when calling things a movement where you should really just call it a social club because you got to qualify some stuff in there. And if you make it and here's the thing about social clubs other than movement, in my opinion, I could be wrong. Someone could say this is the same thing, but this is what I'm saying. If you make it a social club, like a red pill, if red pill is like a social club, you have to qualify to even become a red pill. Now, here's the thing about the whole thing about high value man. Kevin Samuels had a rule, and because at least with the high value man, the Kevin Samuels had a rule, and like he had these, I think he had 6 different things to become a high value man, and he's like these are generally the things to follow, and then if you don't have that, you're not really a high value man. Now, Kevin Samuels stuck to that. He really did. He really stuck to that, and you're like in these things you don't qualify if you don't do none of these things you cannot qualify to become a high value man. That's why a lot of people fuck with Kevin James because he had a criteria and you have to match those criteria. If you don't match the criteria you can't call yourself a high value man, and I feel like that's what the social club is. If you do not match these criterias, I'm not going to let you into the club because I can't like any Tom, Dick, and Harry in the club. You got to have these type of requirements. That's what a social club is. If Red Pill was like a social club where it's just like we're about making people better and helping one of our own and all that other stuff. Okay, in order to become Red Pill, you need to qualify to these set of standards that we have. If you do not qualify these set of standards, you will not get into our social club. That's what the Red Pill movement should be. Or that's what the Red Pill should be. Okay, you want to call yourself Red Pill, you have to qualify these standards. Now, with that being said, the same thing with the manosphere is just like if you're about helping the brother man, but you also got to meet these requirements. That's why I don't want to call things a movement. I would rather call things a social club. But if I start something that's a social club and I feel like it starts with me, okay, you gonna call me the Godfather? As the Godfather, I'm gonna have one thing. Like, let's say if I start a social club, it's got to be just not just me but other people with like-minded stuff, and then we're going to come up with ideas, and then we're going to have to abide by these. This is why I feel like same thing with black people need to be on code. It's just like you can be who you want to be, but if you break these codes, it's just like we need to outcast you. Same thing with the social club. It's just like, let's say like if red pill, like if I'm making a red pill social club and I'm telling you you got to meet these criteria, I'm not even, you're not even deemed. That's why like even fraternities and all that other stuff. It's like, yo, who, even in gangs, it's just like you can't just be saying blood. Like you can't be. I can't be a rolling 60s crip because niggas gonna be like, who jumped you in? It's like, what set you claim? Who jumped you in? And I ain't done none of that. Niggas just know I'm like not real out here. So niggas is really gonna fuck me up because you fucking claiming a set that you not from. Like I don't throw out rolling. Like if I throw out roller 60 crip and I've never been jumped in or did anything that makes me a criteria to a rolling 60 crip, they'll fuck me up out here. And honestly, and that's also one of the good things I've said about gangbanging is that at least they have criteria because you really can't throw out saying, "Oh, you rolling 60" without someone checking you on that shit. And but that's a video on another time. It's just like, um, but it's the same thing I feel like with this red pill, and that's why Rollo Tomasi is getting so much backdraft because Sneeko is really one, it's a dumb tweet to really just put out, and two, you never put no context into none of these fucking things that you should be doing. If you're gonna throw this shit out, you should have a little context in it, especially when someone look at you as the godfather of red pill. You can't really throw shit out unless you show people that you're really throwing shit out there. You can't just really throw people out there. Not like a comedian. A comedian can do that because they know, if anything, you are a comedian. But you are someone that people take highly and your thoughts are highly. Now, me, I am an average man. I am not a high value man. I never, although I was a fan of Kevin Samuels, I never considered myself a high value man because I knew I'd never qualify for what was deemed a high value man or what he would deem as a high value man. Now, there was a lot of people that did follow his channel that wasn't high value man. They tried to throw in there, and every fucking time he was like, "No, you're not." That's why Kevin Samuels was who he was because he had a criteria and he stuck to that criteria. And he expected all these other people to stick to that criteria. Now, were there things that I agree with and disagree with? Of course, there were some things where he talked and it was just like I don't agree with that. But at least with Kevin Samuels, he had a criteria that he stuck to. So, do I think this is going to be the end of Red Pill movement? I don't think so, but I also feel like there's a lot of people that you are exposing that you probably need to be getting out of there. Rollo Tomasi might be one of them. Now, again, he could have just, he could have went through this tweet, asked you for your thoughts. He was just like, why do you need a vasectomy? And then people could say, okay, because what are we about? Okay, what is your movement about? And that's another thing. What is your movement about? What is your movement about, and what are we doing to make ourselves better? If you're gonna say like red pills, like you're helping men out there, okay, how are you helping men out there become better? And I'm pretty sure he has an answer for that. Okay, so what are in your rules? If you're the Godfather, what are the things that you need to abide by? If this is the list you need to abide by, yeah, I'm going to have questions for it. And if you're gonna, and you gotta expect to me, you have to expect a little bit of backdraft with number three. Now, if there's other things I can do, like, okay, you don't want to get a vasectomy, all right, you at least have to be disciplined, in which I feel like is a better number three than motherfucking getting a vasectomy is to be disciplined, be dick disciplined. Like, don't be fucking random bitches just because you can. Just because you have the power doesn't mean you can. With great power comes great responsibility, obviously, some shit like that. You need to set these type of contests just for people. Now, the fact that you try to, and this is the part where Rollo Tomasi got everybody fucked up. You tried to backpedal, it didn't work, and then you got angry, and then you got emotional, and it didn't work. Calling people douche nozzles, it's just douche nozzles. So you look stupid. If you're gonna put and I say this to anybody, if you're gonna put something out there, be prepared because because women do this, especially, and I hate this. Argue with your mother. It's like there's times where I put stuff out there and I have to defend it, whether I win or lose. At least I have enough respect to defend it. Now, if I have now, also I'm also open to change. So if there's anything where I get wrong, I can just go, okay, let me change this up a bit, and let me let me go back to the drawing board and rethink this. That's what you need to do. It's like, you know, so now you're losing people, and honestly, who also looks bad on this, Fresh and Fit. Fresh and Fit to me looks worse than Rolo Tomasi, and the reason why I say this is because you obviously don't agree with this. So maybe you should go to Rolo Tomasi. I said like, yo, you my man's, but I don't agree with number three. Let's have an open dialogue about why I don't agree with number three, and hopefully we can get to some solution that we can change some of this. There's other things that I do agree with that I feel like people should do. Yes, but number three, I'm not sure. Number one and two, depends on who you are. It's just like, eh. But number three, it's just like, nah. A vasectomy? I don't think a nigga had to get a vasectomy. It was like you have to at least have some discipline. Not a vasectomy. That's how Myra and them should have went. But you know what? It was just like, oh, I'm loyalist, and I'm loyal to my people. It's like it's good to have that type of loyalty, but at the same time, if you are my friend or you are my true friend, and I'm looking like an asshole, you as my friend should tell me, hey, you looking like a jackass. I've been watching a lot of Stone Cold Steve Austin. A jackass. So if I'm out here looking like a jackass, you got to be the one to correct me. And trust me, and this is speaking from me personally, I have people that do that. That's why I kept, and if I didn't, I'd probably say a bunch of wild shit that it's just like. But I've had debates, arguments, and not fights, but like debates, arguments, and like about people who's just like, I don't think so. My man, like, I got people who's just like, I don't think you should go about it that way. And I'm stubborn. And I'm stubborn, but at least I would sit there and listen. It was like I'm not. I'll sit there and listen to it. It's just like, but I also admit that I'm stubborn. But there's times where I've have taken advice and I've told them it's like, yeah, I've taken your advice. You was right. I should have go. They clown me for it, but that's what friends is for. But shout outs to them because and they're younger than me. It's like shout outs to them because even then, like sometimes I do got to take back. All right, I'm doing too much because I've like my family does it too. Like it's not just me. Sometimes it's just like, yo, you gotta stay back. You're doing too much. All right, I chill. I chill, and I come back to earth. But overall, um, like I always said, there just take what you can out of some of these things because I don't want to say like just because he said this one thing like everything is bad. It's like when black mothers like they go home and they see a spoon in the fucking sink and they go, if this damn dish is the whole damn dish is there, and they throw the whole fucking dishes in there. It's just like you don't gotta do all that. What is wrong with you? You ain't gotta do all that. All right, throwing the baby out in the bathwater, throwing the baby out with the bathwater, some shit like that. I think that's the so take what you can get. Some take what is positive, and then whatever you feel like it doesn't fit for your criteria in life, don't take that. But take all the but whatever's good, you can go ahead and pick that out, and then like hell, use it to make yourself a better person. And that's my thoughts on that. Let me know what you guys think about this whole Rollo Tomasi thing. Today, my name is Oskino Fly, and I'm out. Peace.